What's up, guys? My name is Zach, and today I am driving a 2024 Mazda CX-5 S Premium Plus. Up front is a 2.5-liter inline-4, and down below is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be making this video because I think the Premium Plus is one of the best trim levels you can buy for the Mazda CX-5. I also think this is a fantastic time to buy a Mazda CX-5, and I will share with you all of the reasons why that is later on in the video. But if you would like to submit your own vehicle, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. But let's get back to that 2.5-liter inline-4 under the hood. Well, it makes 187 horsepower, and it's pretty much the same engine that Mazda has used since this generation of CX-5 debuted in 2017. I really like this engine. I think it makes a good amount of power, but there is a turbo option available. If you want 227 horsepower, you can move up to the turbo, but I think the naturally aspirated one is actually the better engine just for longevity and reliability's sake. The earlier turbo engines had a couple head and valve issues, which seem to be worked out by now, but I still like the calm, collected reality of owning a naturally aspirated car. Now, like I said, paired to it is a 6-speed automatic transmission. Nothing interesting here. This has also been the same transmission they've used since the debut in 2017, and I like it. It shifts well, it's quiet, it's collected, and I don't ever really feel the need for an 8-speed or beyond. Last but not least, the Mazda CX-5 is all-wheel drive, and Mazda actually got rid of front-wheel drive models here in the United States, so any Mazda CX-5 you buy brand new will be all-wheel drive. So how does it feel to drive the Mazda CX-5? Well, it actually feels very nice, and that's always been one of the cornerstones of the CX-5. I've always enjoyed how it drives, how it rides, and it does have that slightly sportier feel, so you do give up a little bit of that cushy ride that you might find elsewhere. That being said, I've done many miles in many different CX-5s, and I've always enjoyed my time with them. Average fuel economy is around 20 miles to the gallon. Now, that is 100% in-town driving. I don't think this car has even been on the highway yet, and it's only 300 miles old. But that's what this car has done since it was built 300 miles ago. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have a mix of physical and digital gauges. Off to the left is my tachometer. In the center is a customizable screen gauge. We can cycle through a couple things, but this doesn't give you nearly the customization as some other brands do. So I would like to see that in the future, a little bit more options in there. And off to the right, we have our fuel and coolant temperature. Up above, we do have a head-up display that is part of the Premium Plus package. And on the steering wheel, on the left, we have our volume, skip track, info, and phone options. And off to the right, we have our adaptive cruise control options. We also do have paddle shifters around the back, and I've always liked the feeling of the steering wheel. It's a really nice leather with some nice stitching in it. I think it presents itself well. Off to the left, we do have a climate control vent, tailgate release, and our lane departure warning on and off. And moving out of the door, we have our power mirrors that do fold in, another part of the Premium Plus package, lock and unlock, and power windows. Moving into the center, we have our infotainment system. This has changed since 2017. It's a little bit bigger, and Apple CarPlay is touchscreen, which is very nice. They changed that. Originally it wasn't. They now brought that back for 2024. And the Premium Plus gets the wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. Great perks to have. My family loves it. Here's the backup camera. Now, this is just the standard backup camera. However, higher trims of the CX-5 will get 360 cameras, but this does not get it. And down below, we have two climate control vents with the hazard switch, our heated steering wheel, a Premium Plus option, and our climate controls. I've always liked how clean, concise, and collected these little climate controls are. I think that they're absolutely lovely, and the Premium Plus gets the heated seats and ventilated seats for the front two occupants. Very nice to see that. Of course, we do have dual zone and auto climate as well. Then we do get a 12-volt outlet and a wireless charger. Very nice to see that. And then moving on to the shifter, very traditional Mazda shifter. They use this in pretty much all of their current products besides the CX-90 and the MX-30. And off to the left, we do have our MI drive. So originally this used to just be a sport button, but for the newer models, Mazda has also added an off-road mode. So very cool to see that addition there. And down below we have our power parking brake and brake hold, our selector for the infotainment screen if you're either not using Apple CarPlay or if you just prefer using this while driving, and then our volume knob off to the right. Then we do have cup holders, so we will do a big friggin' bottle test here in the Mazda CX-5 S Premium Plus, and it looks like it wants to go in, but it doesn't, because if I move the bottle left and right, it pops right out of the cup holders, and so it's close, but no cigar here in the Mazda CX-5. The center console does have a 12-volt outlet and 2 USB-C chargers in there. Mazda has now updated to USB-C, which is awesome to see. And then we gotta talk about the seats. They are heated, ventilated, power, and memory. Very, very lovely. I've always enjoyed the seats in Mazda CX-5s. Like I said, I've done several 500-plus mile road trips in various CX-5s. I did a premium turbo when I was out in New York last year. I had a press car that was a 2023 Signature. Did a lot of driving in that. And so I've sat in a lot of different Mazda CX-5 seats. I've never been uncomfortable. But I have heard that if you are really tall, sometimes knee space can be a little issue. So if you are above 5'11", I'd highly recommend going to the dealer to check one out and sit in one for yourself. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, so we're in the back of the 2024 Mazda CX-5 S Premium Plus. And a couple of things to note. First of all, the overall space back here has never been amazing. Is it good? Do I fit back here? Yeah, it's fine, but it's not amazing. They are now offering the Mazda CX-70, which I have yet to drive, or the Mazda CX-90, which is a 3-row, so hopefully those will have better backseat options. If you're in and out of the back seat all the time, I highly recommend like the Honda CR-V, or even the RAV4 seems to have better backseat space than the CX-5. Just something to note. However, the center console is holding a couple interesting things. We do have 2 cup holders in here, a little storage, and we have our heated seat options. That's right. So the second row of the CX-5 does get rear heated seats at the Premium Plus trim level. Very, very nice to see. And in these cold Chicago winters, I'm sure it will be utilized quite a bit. Let's hop into the very back. We'll take a quick look at the trunk and cargo space, and then we'll talk about the looks. All right, around the back of the Mazda CX-5, little button under here, and it does have a power lift gate. And once we are back here, a couple of things to note. This is an optional all-weather floor mat. My parents really like that. You can also open this up, and we do get the spare tire, and the Bose sound system has a somewhat subwoofer or extra speaker inside of the spare tire, so that is very cool. I do love the Bose sound system. I think it sounds really good. Over here, you'll find handles to release the second row of seats and fold it flat, and this particular one was optioned with a privacy cargo cover, which I have always really liked. We also get a 12-volt outlet off to the right, and that pretty much sums it up for the back of the Mazda CX-5 S Premium Plus, as someone just did a burnout in a 1 Series. Cool, very cool. Now we gotta talk about the looks, and this is finished in deep crystal blue mica, and I absolutely love the look of it. Of course, they did facelift it for the 2022 model year, so if you're comparing this to a 21 or before, you'll notice it has different headlights and taillights, but overall, it's majority the same sheet metal as before, and I've overall liked it. I think it's a little aggressive, but it's also pretty calm and collected, and I've always enjoyed looking at the Mazda CX-5. I think it's handsome still this day and age. However, with all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving the 2024 Mazda CX-5 S Premium Plus? Well, of course, I've enjoyed my time with the vehicle. I've always enjoyed CX-5s, and this was no different. I didn't come into this video expecting my mind to be blown and my eyes full of tears. Why do I say the S Premium Plus is the best trim level, though? It's not near the top. Here is how the trim levels break down. And as you can see, this is the 5th trim level, so it's almost pretty much in the middle of the 8, and as it gets higher, it gets more expensive. But if you look closely in this little diagram, you'll notice that this is the final trim level that is non-turbo. So the 3 trim levels that are higher all come with a 2.5-liter turbo that makes 227 horsepower. And I do love the power that comes from that engine. I've always enjoyed driving the turbo models. They are wonderful. However, in terms of buying advice, someone that buys a car and plans on keeping it until the wheels fall off, much like I personally do, I always recommend the naturally aspirated engine. These aren't Geo Metros anymore. They make good horsepower as they are. 187 horsepower is plenty for a modern vehicle. Is the 227 of the turbo nice? Yes. Is it necessary? No. And so when you're putting your own money on the line, when you're going to be paying for this car month in, month out, I want you to have the most informed, best decision as you can. And what I always recommend is to just stick with the NA. That being said, it's the top of the naturally aspirated range. So we get things like ventilated seats, the head-up display, the power folding mirrors, the wireless Apple CarPlay, the rear heated seats. I mean, we get those fantastic options without breaking through the turbo wall. And that to me is a sweet spot to be in for the Mazda CX-5. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to my parents for letting me take out their Mazda CX-5, as well as housing me, clothing me, feeding me. Real rock stars out there, and I appreciate them very, very much. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.